What's up, ladies and gents? Excalizor is here, bringing you some more Star Wars: The Old Republic PvP. I'm on my Marauder this time. The War Zone, also different. This is the Void Star. This is the last of the three. So I have showed them all, and that's that. So before I get started, those of you who are wondering why my guy was practically in the nude, I just wanted to make sure he was working out because no one likes playing fatties. Actually, I should take that back. Some people do. We actually, on my server, have two sumo-themed characters that I know of. One Sumo Steve and one Sumo Stealth. I don't know what would possess someone to make a stealth character and make him as fat as possibly can be, but I don't know. More power to... I don't even know how that makes sense. You would think there'd be, like, I don't know, restrictions that go through, you know, when it comes to stealth. I don't know. Is the first thing you think of when you think of Yokozuna? It's like, this guy would make a good ninja. Like, seriously. That's just silly. Some of the ideas that people come up with. While hilarious, well, that's pretty much all that matters. Nothing. Whatever. Anyway, actually, what that was for was I was taking off my gear so that when I put it back on, I have an HP deficit so that I can heal it back up, because I have a handy-dandy new item, and this item is actually causing quite a bit of a stir on the PvP forums. And basically, I take off my gear, I heal myself up, and I get 2 medals, just like that. The 2.5k and 5,000 flat heal medal. Medals that I have no right to be getting, and maybe I should, you know, swivel my camera around a bit more often so I don't eat rocks to the head like that. Actually kind of scared me. I wasn't expecting that. But, yeah, like, the thing about this is people are abusing the shit out of it in PvP. And, like, it's supposed to have... Like, actually, I should say what it does first exactly. It's on a 10-second cooldown, and it heals you for 50% of your total health. So if you have 8,000 total health, 4k heal. If you have 20,000 health, 10k heal. Just like that. And it's only on a 10-second cooldown, which is amazing. A heal that big on such short a cooldown. And, the only thing that is keeping it in line, is that it's only usable out of combat, and so you can't, you know, be in the position that I'm in right now, beating the shit out of this poor sorcerer right here. What is that? I think level 29. Yeah, level 29 sorcerer. I can't, if for whatever reason, if she could get me to 50% health, I can't pop it. You know, I have to wait until I get out of combat, and then I can heal myself up. So pretty much, it's like your out of combat regen, instant, just like that. Except only 50% health, which is, you shouldn't need more than that. If it was even more than that, I think people would be even more pissed off. But the problem with this is that there are classes that have hard banishes, like your operatives and your assassins, which, actually, don't quote me on this, I'm not sure, but they're using their vanish to drop combat. And they drop combat, and they pop the item, and just like that, 50% of their health back. Just like that. And that's what are really pissing people off. Granted, I mean, it's even kind of cheap for me as a Marauder, because granted, I do have a vanish. It doesn't drop combat for me, though. And so there have been times where I just finished killing a guy, and there's another 2 guys coming up towards me, but I drop combat because they haven't engaged me yet, and I pop it, and I'm good to go. Like nothing ever happened. And that's, even as a Marauder, I have to admit, it's pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. Though I do think this game needs an item like this, because if you look at WoW, they had, like, the closest thing I can relate this to is the first aid skill, or secondary skill, trade skill. I don't remember exactly what it was called. That's lost my train of thought. That's not good. So, I guess I should say, like one of the crappy things about being a class that doesn't have heals is you really have no way to heal yourself at all unless your class has some self-healing abilities, and I do, but they're very, very minute. It is definitely nice to have, but I can tell you, like even from playing the bounty hunters, both of the advanced classes, like one advanced class gets healing, and one class doesn't. And even though my mercenary has, for the most part, been DPS spec, and so the heals aren't as efficient. I mean, even just having those heals available, I mean, is a night and day difference for my power tech, who just kind of sits there twiddling. I sit there twiddling my thumbs up my butt, you know, hoping that I drop combat sooner rather than later, so that I can start healing up. Whereas my mercenary, you know, I just break LOS, start healing myself up, and you know, I'm good to go. And I think this game needs an item like this, but it definitely needs to be changed. Like, it's supposed to give you a 30-minute debuff in between periods from which you can use it again, but you can click, it's classified as a buff, and you can click off buffs, and so, you know, this isn't really an exploit per se, it's just a clever use of design, game design mechanics, which I think, while true is a load of shit that people actually will defend this with that argument, I mean, it's clearly a developer oversight. And so what I would do is I would change it, first of all, to apply a debuff so that you can't use it so often. And I'd probably put a 1-minute cooldown on it, or a 1-minute debuff, I should say. Or they could just put a flat cooldown on the item itself and make it usable in and out of combat. That'll work too, as opposed to just a 10-second cooldown and a 30-minute buff. So that's what I would do to remedy this. I think this game definitely needs a first aid-like trade skill, so that, you know, you don't have to wait like the 15 seconds or whatever it is to drop combat and then spend 10 seconds regenning your healths. It's just something like this would just improve quality of life, and I don't think it'd be overpowered at all. So I think back in vanilla, it was the way bandages work. If you don't know, it was a heal over time, and if you took any damage while you were channeling this ability, it would break. So, like, I think in vanilla, the top level bandage was a 2,000 point heal over 8 seconds, and if you took damage during any part of that, it would stop the channel. But back in vanilla, 2,000 over 8 seconds is about as good as it gets. I think people who were well geared could expect about anywhere from like 3,800 upwards to like 4,600. I think if you were a tank, you would get like 5,100. So depending on how well or horribly geared you were, you would be expect about half health, which is pretty much what this thing does, except it's just a straight up flat heal. So maybe they could change it to work as a bandage. Have it a heal over time that's interrupted when you take damage, or just keep it as the heal over time as it is, which I think would be nice, because dots in this game are a pain in the ass. They interrupt everything, anything and everything. Well, I already said everything, so anything and everything. So I wouldn't be opposed to keeping it as a flat heal, but I also wouldn't argue against it being a heal over time that could be interrupted by damage. So that's what I would do. 1 minute cooldown, or 1 minute debuff that can't be clicked off. And so, I don't know if I mentioned this, but if you're wondering why I need to click it off, if you still have the 30-minute buff and you use it, you won't get the heal. So that's why people click off the buff, and see, that's what lets you use it in succession. So I don't know if I mentioned that. But if I didn't, there you go. So that's what I would do, and even just for PvE leveling, I mean, this thing is amazing. I mean, in between every pull, I can use it. It takes me about 10 seconds, a little more, a little less, depending on, you know, what exactly I'm up against. And wipe out the pack, and I go on to the next pack, and I'm full health again, just like that. And the cooldown is short enough so that I can use it between each and every single pull. And I've actually canned my healing companion For those of you who don't know, you get the little NPC companion to level up with, so that you're not so lonely. Gives you that, I don't know, that sense that you're not a loser who's playing by himself. You have someone to roll around with. And there are tank companions, healing companions, and damage companions. And most people who play this game will, most people will level up with the healing companion because it reduces downtime. And I think overall, it will make things much quicker than if you use the DPS companion or a tank companion, because you'll have to spend more time in between each pool with the DPS and tank companion to either heal yourself up or to heal your companion up. I haven't exactly done the math, but it may, in the end, turn out to equal just about the same between everything, but what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the healing just gives you the sense that you're doing more and you're not stopping. Like, even though it may be a little slower, you pretty much never have to stop, other than maybe like after 5 minutes of non-stop action. You'll have to stop eventually, but you know, most people use the healing companion, but with this item, don't need the healing companion. I heal for more than the companion does, and now I can use the DPS companion to make me help me clear faster. So I mean, if you're leveling up, even if you're level 50, there's no reason not to get this item. It is ridiculous in its state, and I think some people are actually quoting like a post they had on Twitter, like, it is working as intended. But knowing what they've done so far regarding to nerfs in this game, it's going to get changed. So, though, as to when that may happen, it's anybody's guess. So, while you can use this item, and if you're leveling up, you've got to do it. The item is Pure Shock Frozen Water. Just type it into Google, and TOR head. TOR head is Star Wars version of WoW head. And it'll be the first comment for the item, and there'll be a link. Take about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even less, depending on how lucky you are at finding this item. It's, you know, completely RNG related. RNG is bullshit. You know, I think I spent closer to 40 minutes myself looking for it, but it is worth the investment. I mean, even if you only get to use it for a day, it is still worth, because it just makes things that much faster. And in PvP, like I said, reduces downtime. Reduces downtime in PvE, PvP, so pretty much Pure Shock Frozen Water, amazing, borderline overpowered in its current state. Expect a nerf to it soon, or a refix, or a rework, or whatever. Hopefully they make it closer to what I was suggesting, you know, 1 minute cooldown, usable in combat. Well, if they make it usable in combat, they'll probably have to change it to a damage or a heal over time, because healing for half of your health instantly like that, probably pretty fucking cheap. No one likes it when people pop potions, so I guess make it a heal over time, usable in combat or out of combat, breaks on damage. And if you're out of combat, ignores dots, because dots are a pain in the ass. That's what I would do. I think that's fair. So if you know at all what I'm talking about, all 5 of you from what I can tell from the comments, let me know what you think. Let's get some brainstorming going on, and everybody likes a good nerdy gaming discussion. But anyway, on to my Marauder here. Yeah, he's level 42. I've been busy leveling up super fast thanks to Pure Shock Frozen Water. It's amazing. I can't believe they let something like this, overlooked something like this, rather. But anyway, I've got like 3 or 4 new abilities, and I have to admit, I'm actually starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed here. Because, like, I thought I should have done better in this game, but I guess I didn't have as much uptime as I thought I did. I don't know, I think I died only once in this game, and, you know, for a Marauder, especially one who knows how, or likes to think he knows how to mash his buttons, I thought I should have done better, but I don't know. And like I got my final tier talent tree talent ability, I think it's called Annihilate. pretty much what I just did, like grabbing both lightsabers and then impaling the motherfucker. Pretty cool looking ability. Makes like the Wolverine X symbol, Weapon X. We'll just call it that, the Weapon X lightsaber attack. Yeah, see, there it is. Well, you probably couldn't see the X because he was engulfed in fucking missile smoke, but yeah, there's an X there, and you know, I thought my damage would have gone up a little bit, but I don't know, it feels like I'm doing less damage. I don't know. Like, in between game from game, like, I understand I won't have as much uptime as I do in other games. I don't know what the deal is. I thought I played pretty well, but was actually kind of disappointed, so I don't know if it's because I'm overwhelmed or what. I still got top damage, almost got ousted by a bounty hunter, but luckily dominance was asserted, and I even got top healing. Thank you, Pure Shock Frozen Water, for giving damage classes the ability to top the healing meters. That is not cheap at all. But I don't know. So I'll just chalk it up to not being the optimal game, but I won't use that as an excuse to not improve. So I'll get the hang of it eventually if I'm doing something wrong. So yeah, Marauders getting a little overwhelming for me now, but like I said, I will overcome and conquer. I came, I saw, I conquered. That is true for Star Wars. And I'm rambling on. Video's over, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, peace soup.